Ready, set.
We are in Uptown Charlotte for day 2 of the 2023 ACC Football Kickoff Media Rouser. We welcome head coach Mike Elko to the podium. We'll spend about 15 minutes with him and then 5 minutes with each of our student athletes. Folks, you've been kind enough to this point to identify yourselves and the agency that you are with. We ask that you continue that good habit. And coach, we think your first question will come to your right in the second row. We will get that microphone hustled that way. Here we go.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Royal Howell, Carolina Blitz. First, congratulations on your contract extension. Definitely much needed. You guys returned 9 starters on offense, 8 defensively. I just want to know, what are you trying to build at Duke as far as the culture? One of the best turnarounds in ACC history, going from 0-8 to 5-3 in record play. A lot of games are close, one play here or there. What do you want to build at Duke University as far as the culture? What are you looking forward going towards?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things we talk about in our program is our culture. And I think last year was a testament that culture can win and culture can turn things around really quick. I think we got a lot of guys that have a lot of love for each other in that locker room. They enjoy playing together. They enjoy being around each other. And that's maybe one of the things that doesn't get calculated when we do a lot of the preseason predictions, and I think that was one of the things last year that we knew we had. You know, we didn't know exactly what that would look like going into the season, but I think it played out really well. And then obviously having a lot of returning starters and really excited for what this program is and how we can elevate it in year 2 and hopefully go out there and put an even better product on the field this fall.
Coach, to your left, first row.
A wake-up call, DT.com. In that time period of coming in to this team and seeing that change in a positive direction, what are some of those pillars that you came in and tried to build in your foundation and your culture that you saw had an immediate effect on this team to have success so quickly?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we built really quick, and we talked about it, we built this acronym GRIND. And within that, there were a couple things that we thought were really important. One was grit. I think for us at Duke to be successful, we've got to be mentally tough. We've got to be able to overcome. We've got to be able to overachieve. That's something that's really important. One of the other ones that's in there is relentless effort. I think we felt like as a program, maybe we had gotten away from that a little bit in recent times. And that was something that we wanted to get back to, that we were just going to go out there and exhaust ourselves for each other and for this university. And I think those are some things that are intangibles, right? And if you can build some really strong intangibles, then you can take the talent you have and allow it to shine. And I think those were some of the things that we were able to build through our off-season program, through our summer development, and I think in year 2, those things are even stronger.
Coach, to your right in the fourth row, green shirt.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. Coach, you had a 9-win season, which was the 7th in Duke program history, I believe. First time a first-year head coach has ever done that at Duke. The only first-time head coach to have a better winning percentage in their first season than you was the person the stadium is named after, Wallace Wade. How do you build on that momentum going into year 2?
Yeah, I think you just talk about elevating our product. I think one of the things that we even see when we look back, we had a lot of success last year. We had a lot of positive results, but when you really look at the details, there's still a lot of areas we can get better. There really are. And first time as a head coach, first time in a system, first time building our program, there's a lot of things that we feel like we can get better at and we can do better. And so that was the emphasis. Everything this offseason has just been about elevation. And we didn't come in to have one good season. We didn't come in to have one positive moment and kind of let it all go away. We wanted to build a program. And that goes over time. And we know for us to be the program we want and to get the respect that we really want, this is something that has to happen year in and year out, and we've got to be successful year in and year out. And I don't think we're there yet. And so we had a big offseason. I think we worked really hard this offseason. We're really excited for fall camp and look forward to go out in there this fall and showing that, hopefully we're a program that can sustain this level of success.
Coach, follow the center aisle all the way to the back, to the edge.
Mike, David Teal with the Richmond Times-Dispatch. What were the key on-the-field components last season that led to the reversal? Was it the turnaround in turnover margin or the exponential defensive improvement that were key in your mind?
Yeah, I think on the field, I would point to probably two. I think one was turnover margin. I think we had gone from one of the worst turnover teams in the country to the second best turnover margin in the nation. And we did a really good job of forcing them, and we did a really good job of protecting the football. And so when you look at how do you flip wins and losses, that's obviously the biggest indicator of success, is how you do in the turnover margin. And so that, I think, strategically was one of the really big things that played in our favor. And I think we got stronger. And so the way that we were able to run the football and the way that we were able to stop the run, I think allowed us to control game flow significantly better. And I think those two things played hand in hand because we weren't chasing games, we weren't getting behind early, we weren't having to force the issue, which I think allowed us to protect the football a lot more, maybe forced other teams to try to throw the football or expose the football a little bit more. I think all of those things kind of played hand in hand in last year.
Hands are shooting up all over the room. We're going to get to as many as we can. Coach, left side towards the wall, orange, salmon shirt maybe?
Syracuse from Last Word on Sports. The ACC has become a conference that is very heavy in top-end quarterbacks. Talk about how Riley fits into the conference and his level of play with regards to everybody else in the conference as well.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think there's a lot of really talented quarterbacks in this league. I think it's one of the things that differentiates this league across the country. I think the volume of NFL quarterbacks that we see and we play against is really high. And I think we're really happy to have the guy that we have. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's a tremendous leader. He's an amazing young man. And, we're really excited to see him elevate his game. He showed us last year he has a tremendous competitive spirit. He knows how to elevate his game at the right time. And in those critical moments, he's able to make the plays we need him to make for us to win football games. And I'm looking forward to seeing him as an established starter going into year two, as a kid who's a lot more comfortable in our system going into year two, a stronger kid going into year two. I think his game can even take another step. And so I think he deserves to be in that conversation with the best quarterbacks in this league. No disrespect to anyone else's, but we've got a really talented one in Durham for sure.
Coach, swing hard right, third row, almost here to the wall.
Coach, Ranjan Jindal with Duke Chronicle. We talked about the returning starters, the most returning starters in the league, and that level of retention is really hard in college football nowadays. How much is that experience really going to help you guys build that chemistry in your second year, and just what does that say about the program you're trying to build here?
Yeah, I think the second part of that first. I think that our ability to retain our best players speaks about what we're building in Durham. I think for us to make a statement that really good football players want to stay at Duke and want to be part of not only the program that we're building, but also the university and the degree that we're offering, that's what we hope to build. And that's what we want this thing to be about. And then experience matters. We're going to play a lot of really close football games this year. We know that the schedule is elevated. We know that we're going to play some really talented teams. And so we're going to get into some big moments in the fourth quarter where we're going to have to execute at a really high level. And experience is going to matter. And we've got a lot of really experienced players. The three guys on this stage with me have played an awful lot of football at Duke, and so we're looking forward to those challenges.
To your left, Coach, fourth row, blue shirt.
Yep.
Justin Jones, CarolinaGridiron.com. Duke University launched the Future Initiative over the past year to help get team or players prepare for the future. What kind of takeaways have you seen from this program as these players bring back to your locker room?
Yeah, I think it's been something that we really wanted to do. It's one thing to say, come to Duke, we've got a great education, but if we're not giving our players access to that and we're not preparing them for the future and for life beyond the game, then it's really an empty promise. And so Terrell Smith has kind of head up that program. He's done a great job of creating opportunities for our kids that range from learning how to deal in Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint to resume building to how to dress for an interview, all the way to we had 32 young men do internships this summer in the month of May for 1 week, all kind of given back to us by former Duke football players so that we could get them some of that real life work experience. Graham Barton, projected high draft pick for us, is going to start at left tackle, did a summer internship, right? And that's what Duke is. Duke is truly the best of both worlds and an opportunity to chase greatness in every aspect of your life. And so as that future program continues to build and continue to grow, we want to make sure that we understand that the college experience is still a little bit more than just what happens on the field. And I think that's something that we believe in very strongly.
Coach, to your right, first row.
Lever KT, CFB Nation. Coach, Duke has forever been a blue blood basketball program. The football program was kind of an afterthought. But after last year, that is no more. You guys showed that the football program is here and here to stay. Can you expound on that, please?
Yeah, I think first of all, we relish our success on basketball. I think one of the reasons why Duke was exciting to me is because of the brand recognition. And we're very thankful for everything that basketball has done and everything that basketball has been about. And everything we've talked about has just been there's room for both programs to be successful. There's an entire fall that we're not doing anything with basketball. And there's no reason why we can't invest resources into our football program and be successful there too. And I think that's something that our athletic department has made a huge commitment to. Obviously, I think the extension that just got announced plays into that. And we want to be great. That's what Duke has been about. It's been about this elite level of excellence in every area that it goes after. And I think now, hopefully, that's going to translate consistently to the football program as well.
Coach, follow the center aisle all the way to the end, to the back, to the right.
Hey, Coach. Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Jalen Calhoun's a guy who played a ton of football in this program. How valuable has he been to you, just kind of as a veteran asset? And then what makes him so effective as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean, his value is he can get open consistently, and when the game's on the line or we've got to make critical throws in the pass game, it's nice to have a guy who has so much experience going against the best in the ACC and finding ways to get open and make catches. And so he's a guy that we rely on heavily. He's a guy that we game plan around to try to move and find ways to get him into the matchups that are favorable for us. And, it's really exciting to have him make the decision to come back this year and play another year with us. I think that gives us another weapon on offense that we can really utilize. And he's a tremendous player. He's a really elite athlete. I think he's had a phenomenal offseason. I think you're going to even see a better version of him this fall.
Keep your focus right there. Connor O'Neill right next to him.
Connor O'Neill, Devils Illustrated. Mike, last year at this time, we talked so much about you wanting competition, open competition for spots on the roster. Do you thread a needle with so many guys coming back in established roles and theoretically they wouldn't have to keep competing for their spots? Or do you want to just keep building on the competition even though there's so many guys in those roles that they've kind of cemented for themselves?
Yeah, I would say this. I would say no roles are cemented, and I would not be surprised if of the 17 returning starters, a couple of them are in really big challenges and battles this camp to keep their jobs. And that's the program that you want, and that's what you want to build. You want to know that your youth and your young guys are developing, that you're bringing new guys in the program to push the level of play, and that there is open competition, because I think competition is what makes everybody better. And I think our kids embrace it. I really do. I think we have a locker room where within each position group, we're bringing the young guys along. We're teaching the young guys. We're trying to make everything better in our program. And I think that's the only way you go into season after season being successful.
Last question, Coach. Very back of the room, left side. See if we can do this in about 90 seconds.
Hey, Coach. David Hood with TigerNet.com. Building off of last season, you get a chance to show off your facilities, your stadium, your team on Labor Day night. You're the only game on TV, ESPN. Clemson's coming to town. What kind of opportunity, win or lose, is that for you and your program?
Yeah, I mean, I think being on that national stage is what we want Duke football to be, and obviously Clemson has been the gold standard in this conference. We've not shied away from that this entire offseason. That they have done so many things to kind of carry the ACC and be our representative for so long. But, if we want to get our seat at the table and we want to get talked about in that light, those are the games that we're going to have to play. And so to be able to play that game in Durham in front of a packed house on Monday night with everybody watching, that's what you want. I think that's what our players want, that's what our kids want, and that's what our program wants. And it's not to say that we don't have a ton of respect for who they are and what they do, but, that's an opportunity that we're really looking forward to.
Coach, thank you. You can switch places with Dwayne Carter. Dwayne will spend about 5 minutes with you.